All right, welcome to KUTV Weekend Live. Thank you so much for staying with us. As you've just seen, that was an interview with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua with our colleagues from different media houses. Now let's keep you updated with all that has taken center stage today, Sunday. Let's get a proper introduction before we get right into it. All right, welcome to the broadcast. I'm in the company of Evans Sodhiambo, who's a sign language interpreter tonight. I am Ann ODIDA. We are streaming this broadcast live on our social media platforms at KUTV_Kenya. Let's get right into it. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has issued an order to residents living in 27 bandit-prone regions to vacate by Monday 13, a failure to which they'll be treated as bandits or bandit accomplices. In a statement released today, Professor Kindiki stated that the government has decided to upscale the security operations against bandits, which will require new measures. Here's Ruth Wanjiru with our report.
In the wake of the never-ending banditry attack in the northern region, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has issued a 24-hour ultimatum to residents living in bandit-prone areas to vacate not later than Monday 13th by 8 a.m. Among the areas affected include Korkon Hills, Tandare Valley, and Silale Gorges in Baringo County. In Laikipia County, the areas affected are Mukogodo West, Kamwenje, Warero and Donyoriwo, Lekuruki Hills, Losos and Kiape Caves, and Sieiku Valley. Also affected in Samburu County is Letungai Conservancy, Longewan, Nasur, Lochokia and Lekedare escarpments, Lolmolok Caves, Pura Valley, Malaso escarpment and Suguta Valleys. In Turkana County, residents in Kapelbok, Nwakomoru, Lebokat, Ombolion, Nandome and Kamuru Caves are to vacate, as well as those from the Takwel escarpment at the interface of the West Pokot and Turkana counties. The Cabinet Secretary also revealed that over 135 residents, including 20 officers, have been killed by bandits in the last 7 months. Professor Kindiki further added that nearly 12 Kenyans have been killed in Malaso, Pura and Kurkur areas, while 6 others have been murdered in Tot Elgeyo Marakwet County. Among other measures implemented by the CS include banning of low-altitude overflights except from aircraft taking part in the ongoing security operations until further notice. Ruth Wanjiru for KU TV.
Still on security measures, Defense Cabinet Secretary on Sunday reiterated the government's commitment in dealing with banditry and the Al-Shabaab menace that have become a thorn in the flesh of Kenyans. His remarks come at a time when there have heightened attacks in northeastern and parts of coastal region. Several lives have been lost, including security officers. Development has also been greatly undermined.
Efforts to eradicate terror in the country is an ongoing initiative by the government officials, with the Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale now saying that the government is indeed going to crush out terrorists and bandits in the country. Speaking at Madrasatul Hadija in Garissa town, Duale called on Kenyans, especially in areas affected by insecurity, to work closely with the security apparatus in order to identify criminals hiding in their midst and also be ambassadors of peace.
Protect the security of our nation. And as a government, we will make sure, from banditry to terrorism, we will smoke out, we will deal with everybody.
The former Garissa Township Member of Parliament said that the country will invest in the best equipments as well as the country's special teams, noting that the country cannot be taken hostage by a few criminal gangs and militants.
So the people of Northern Kenya, you must get this one right for me. We will invest in the best of our special teams to deal with banditry and to deal with terrorism. For Kenya to prosper, for the economy to grow, for our children to go to school, we must have peace and security.
In North Rift, incidents of banditry have left hundreds dead and others injured, with animals stolen in the past months, despite operations to tame the trend. Last month, Cabinet Secretary Duale gazetted the deployment of Kenya Defence Forces KDF to North Rift to contain banditry after President Ruto ordered a joint operation with the National Police Service. Mutweri Eliud for KU TV.
All right, now Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leaders led by Raila Odinga on Sunday attended a church service at Tononoka Shalom Miracle Church in Mombasa, where they later on proceeded to hold the People's Baraza at Caltex grounds in Likoni with the agenda of urging the coast residents to take part in the Azimio mass action scheduled for March 20th. Odinga states that he will not be shaken by the threats over the coalition's mass movements and that everything will continue as planned.
After holding a meeting with Coast Azimio leaders at Wild Waters Resort in Nyali, and thereafter attending a church service at Shalom Miracle Ministry in Tononoka, the Azimio la Umoja Brigade made their way into Caltex grounds Likoni to address anti-government public rally.
Tumesema hii serikali ambayo iko hapa ni serikali ya kiimla, serikali ya kidhuluma, serikali ya wezi.
The agenda that the opposition led by ODM party boss Raila Odinga took to the coast residents was a call to participate in mass protests against President Ruto's government that the opposition say is illegitimate, calling for its resignation.
Sisi kama wanazimio tulitoa ilani kwa serikali, tukawaambia kwamba tunataka bei ya maisha irudi chini,
bei ya unga iteremuke chini, food subsidy. Hizo pesa zimewekwa mifuko ya watu.
With the opposition chief Raila Odinga or his Azimio principal counterparts Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka and other Azimio bigwigs who maintained a fierce stance against Kenya Kwanza government that they say is responsible for high cost of living.
Kenya nzima kwa kusema ati wamefix uchumi. They have fixed the economy of Kenya. Wamefix kwa akili yao ama ni kusaidia wananchi?
Sisi tumetembea. Tumetoka bonde la Ziwa Victoria. Tumeingia bonde la Ufa jana, Narok. Leo tumekuja Bahari Hindi. Shida tunasikia ni moja, shida ni nini?
The Azimio leader held that the opposition will not relent on their mass protest to push for their 14-day ultimatums to the government that elapsed on Wednesday, including ensuring electoral justice, reduction of prices of essential commodities, among other issues, adding that they will not be intimidated by the police. The opposition side insists that they will hold more rallies to woo Kenyans to rally behind their call ahead of 20th of March mass action. Kumu Modaki for KU TV.
Moving on, President William Ruto has today led government officials and political leaders allied to the government in a Thanksgiving service held at Kirubia Stadium, Igambangombe in Tharaka Nithi County. The president says that the government is in no position to allow destructive demonstrations, as Joseph Kess reports.
President William Ruto has visited the Tharaka Nithi County in a series of Thanksgiving services to Kenyans. The president, who was accompanied by both political officials, has said that the government is busy reviving the economy and that it will not allow room for destructive mass action.
Mimi nataka niwaambie ya kwamba taifa letu la Kenya haiwezi kuendelea vile hawa majamaa wanataka tuendelee.
The president has also said that the government has had a daunting task reviving the economy, which he says was ruined by the preceding administration. He promised that the Kenya Kwanza government is set to release its first budget in 2 months' time, a budget that he says will address common economic challenges facing Kenyans.
Mambo ya madeni ilikuwa inaelekeza nchi yetu kwenye hatari ya kuharibu uchumi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio ikawa ni kazi yako ya kwanza, kazi ya dharura, kukomesha mambo ya kukopa madeni left, right and center.
Ruto has declared that he will work with all leaders in order to ensure that all Kenyans benefit from the government development projects. He has also congratulated the public servants for distancing themselves from politics under his administrations and said that the time for public servants to participate in politics is over.
Nawaambia wafanyikazi wote wa serikali, machifu na wale wengine wote, madio, county officers, wale county commissioner, regional commissioner, askari wote wa polisi, nimewaambia wawachane na kazi ya siasa, wafanye kazi ya wananchi.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has reiterated that the president will only work with those who are loyal to him and who support his development agenda. Rigathi has also revisited his earlier sentiments that the former government was involved in misappropriation of public funds.
Lakini ikifika watu ya kukusaidia, utatafuta wale wanakuelewa, wale wanakupenda, wale wanaamini uongozi wako. Kwa sababu huwezi chukua wale walikuwa nakupigia makelele uwafanye waziri. Watakuangusha. Si ndio?
The difference between the government and oppositions keeps growing day by day, even as the opposition prepare to stage major demonstrations in Nairobi on the 20th of this month.
All right, that was Ruth Wanjiru with that report and not Joseph Kest, as I had mentioned earlier. Now, moving on, journalist attack in Homa Bay County has left the Nation Media Group journalist George Oduor with injuries. Oduor, together with 8 other journalists, met the attack by some youths while covering a press conference of Luo Council of Elders at Tourist Hotel in Homa Bay Town. The chairman of Media Council of Kenya, Homa Bay branch, James Omolo, condemned the incident, saying such occurrences puts media practice at risk. A ruling by Kenya's Supreme Court allowing a registration of LGBTQ associations has been hailed as a step forward in gay rights in some quarters, but homosexual relations are illegal in Kenya. Now, Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma is pushing a bill to increase the maximum punishment for anyone found guilty to life in prison. VOA's Juma Majanga with that story.
Peter Kaluma is busy in his Nairobi office preparing to file for a review of a recent Supreme Court ruling that allows the registration of LGBTQ associations in Kenya. The parliament member says LGBTQ individuals have no rights in Kenya under the Constitution. He has also introduced a bill increasing the maximum punishment for anyone found guilty of same-sex relations to death.
Currently, under the current law, if homosexuals, the people who engage in homosexuality, do so by consent, the punishment is 7 years. Where one is forced or coerced to engage in homosexuality, the punishment is 14 years. But that has not sufficiently deterred these homosexuals. And so we are increasing penalty. In some cases, it will be life imprisonment. In cases where there is no consent, we are going to institute death penalty. Death penalty, and that is going to be very explicit in this law.
Last month's majority ruling from Kenya's Supreme Court sparked a debate in the country. The hashtag Say No to LGBTQ in Kenya trended for days following the ruling, with criticism led by President William Ruto.
Katika taifa letu la Kenya, tuko na mila.
In our country, Kenya, we have culture and norms, and we respect our constitution. We respect the different religions in our country. We cannot go the road of women marrying fellow women and men marrying fellow men. That can never happen in our country, Kenya.
Religious leaders blame what they call unchecked freedoms in the constitution for the ruling by the country's top court.
It's one of those areas on freedom of association without limits that the Supreme Court used to issue an order to the organ, the body that is registering NGOs to register gay movement, that they have a right to association.
The LGBTQ community in Kenya and rights advocates have hailed the High Court's ruling as a step forward in gay rights.
The ruling will empower us and give us fair spaces. It will allow those who have been hiding in fear to come out and to register as a rainbow community. Being recognized is important because our members have faced attacks and some even killed.
In Kenya, First Lady Rachel Ruto has volunteered to lead national prayers against homosexuality in the country. Meanwhile, many Western countries have legalized same-sex relations in recent decades. And just last month, the Church of England allowed a blessing ceremony for same-sex couples.
Tolerance in sections of the world does not make it right. It simply says that that community or the group that are making it acceptable are a group who have followed the culture rather than who are setting a trend for the culture to follow.
While the Kenyan constitution guarantees a right to freedom of association, same-sex relations remain illegal in the country. Juma Majanga for VOA News, Nairobi.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, we are taking a very fast short break. At this point, you're coming back with agribusiness. Stay with us.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi ndio wana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili
bila uoga. Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za taarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Technovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now in agribusiness, Migori farmers have called upon the management of the Cereal Board of Kenya to move with speed in addressing the long queues that have been witnessed for weeks during the collection of subsidized fertilizers in the county. The farmers have alleged that the cereal officials were colluding with some farmers to sell the fertilizers to various aggregate stores while some were transporting it to Tanzania.
Wakulima wa Migori wameitaka bodi ya nafaka NCPB kushughulikia matatizo wanayokumbana nayo katika utoaji wa mbolea. Benson Ulianga, mkulima kutoka Migori, alisema utaratibu katika ghala hiyo haujazingatiwa sana. Benson aliwaomba wasimamizi wa ghala hiyo kuzingatia utaratibu ili kushughulikia foleni zinazoshuhudiwa kwa wingi.
Hii mbolea ambayo wameleta nyingi hatupati vile inastahili tupate. Haswa wakaaji wa hapa hawapati. Kuna shida pande ya kupeana sana sana na officers ambao ni wa cereal board wa hapa. Unakuta watu wanakuja kutoka nje na wanakuja wanachukua zaidi ya bags 50.
Dennis Omondi ameangazia kuwa mkulima halisi anajitahidi kuamka mapema saa 9 asubuhi ili kuenda kupanga foleni, ila siku hiyo huisha bila wao kupokea mbolea. Dennis aliomba uongozi wa ghala hiyo kutengeneza sekta ndogo katika daraja la kaunti ndogo ili wakulima waweze kukabiliana na mvua fupi inayonyesha katika kaunti hiyo.
What I'm also advising the government, why can't it be supplied as per sub counties? They give us an information, they say that.
Right, sorry about that. It's a technical hitch from our side. Now, Murang'a County Government, in collaboration with the Institute of Culture and Ecology and its partners, has put into law the Murang'a Agroecology Policy 2022-2032 and the Murang'a County Agroecology Development Act 2022. The act promotes use of organic farming practices and production of organic products.
During the launching and signing of the regulations on Thursday at Ihora Stadium, Murang'a Town, Murang'a Deputy Governor Stephen Munania said that under the leadership of Governor Irongo Kang'ata, the county government will ensure that the residents benefit in the 10-year framework that is set aside to ensure the organic farming is practiced and embraced in the county.
Products are not only healthy but can also be marketed and sold in the outside world that depends on organic farming as organic product as part of their daily sustainable agriculture.
Stephen says that the Murang'a Agroecology Policy and Act has been put in place to provide for the regulations, development and promotion of organic food industry in the county. He emphasized that the county recognizing that by eating healthy, the residents will lead a healthy and productive life.
They have ensured that we have a legal framework at a policy level and at an act level to ensure that we can be able to adequately fund organic farming in Murang'a County.
Executive Director of Institute for Culture and Ecology, Martin Murioki, said that the institution has partnered with the county government in delivering a process for development of agroecology policy and act.
And now we are celebrating the first agroecology act and policy in Kenya, which is supposed to support farmers' activity.
We, as the county assembly, we are behind the regulations and the act, and we will be supporting the county government.
Member of County Assembly for Mogoro Ward, Moses Moshiri, encouraged the youth to venture into farming and invest in agroecology farming in order to make a living from it. Joy Maina, KUTV, Nairobi.
In sports, Ruth Chepngetich clocked 2 hours, 18 minutes, 8 seconds to defend her Nagoya Women's Marathon crown in Japan. Chepngetich showed her opponents a new pair of heels, sweeping aside cross-Japanese Suzuki Ayako, who timed 2 hours, 29 minutes, 5 seconds, and Maeda Honami, who settled for second and third positions respectively, to run away with 32 million Kenya shillings. Elsewhere, Kenyans registered results are the Lisbon Boston Half Marathon in the women's category, Ethiopia's Almaz Ayan won the race after timing 1 hour 5 minutes 30 seconds ahead of Kenya's Margaret Chelimo, Purity Komen, Catherine Relin and Viola Chepngeno, who settled for 2nd, 5th, 6th and 9th positions respectively. And finally, Coast Amateur Swimming Association CASA has officially changed its name and will now be known as Mombasa County Swimming Association MCSA. Speaking during the unveiling of the new logo and name, Association's development head Sahil Harunani, who is also an executive committee member, said they have changed the name to comply with the Sports Act. During the event, Ahmed Mahui of Bandari SC emerged the winner of the 25 Masters freestyle category for boys 9 years when he clocked 18.13 seconds in boys 11 years 50 meters freestyle category. Jeremy Mwamisi of Mombasa Parents SC emerged the winner in 33.08 seconds. In girls 8 years, Gianna Canas from Watamu Aquatics SC won in the 50 meters freestyle category, clocking 41.48 seconds. In girls 9 years, 50 meters freestyle event, Sehai Perez Grossvenor of Aga Khan Academy was the winner after clocking 44.58 seconds.
Highlight for us this weekend is that we are officially unveiling and rebranding the Coast Amateur Swimming Association, and we are proud to say that we are one of the very first counties to be registered with the Sports Act under the Ministry of Sports, and we are unveiling our new name and logo here today, and we are from now on going to be known as the Mombasa County Swimming Association.
All right, that's a wrap from us here at the News Desk. Many thanks indeed for all that took part in making this bulletin a success. Be sure to join me again tomorrow for the Money Monday Bulletin. We'll be talking about digitization in agriculture, how a young man is making it possible for farmers to sell their products in an online platform. My name is Ann Odida. I'm in the company of Ivan Sodhiambo, who's our sign language interpreter tonight. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.